Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Whatcha Pickin. This is Eric, the OBXPicker. I'm here today with Dave, NC Picker, and we're going to be talking about what he's picking out here. Stick around. Okay, guys, so as promised, we're here today with Dave, NC Picker, and we're going to find out what he's picking. So, Dave, what's something that got you into picking, and kind of give everybody a little introduction of who you are?
Okay, so yeah, as far as got me into picking, the need for money got me into picking. I'm not really like a huge collector of things. So when I buy things, I buy them to sell usually. Every now and then I keep something that I think is cool, but really it's all about trying to make a profit off people's junk. That's the main goal.
There you go. So like I've been out picking today with Dave, so we obviously have seen things that he picks. And I'm in here in his eBay garage / man cave that he's got going on in here.
Yeah.
So Dave, like, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been going out picking?
I've been doing picking for probably like 15 years on and off. I got back heavily into it probably about a year and a half ago. So I definitely took a pretty significant break in there, but I've been on and off for like 15 years. I mean, even when I was a kid, I was trying to find a way to take something and make it worth more, whether that was trading or trading up or anything like that. Basically, I would always find a way to try to get more value out of my items.
So if you could say, like, what were some of your early things as far as getting into picking? Like, were you going to thrift stores, estate sales? Like, what is it that you kind of started out going to?
I would say I started out with retail arbitrage. I was really into video games and always trying to get additional video games, but had no money. I mean, $60 for one game is crazy. Right. If you're living life on a budget, that can be like a whole entire line item on a budget. That's your cell phone bill, something like that. And they're coming out with 10 new games a month. So you have to kind of find a way to figure out how to get that stuff without impacting your actual finances. So I would go over to Target clearance, Kmart clearance. I'd buy out every copy of Metroid Prime Trilogy they had for $9, and I'd sell it for $69.99 on eBay, or take some stuff right over to GameStop, trade that in for credit, use that credit to buy items that would trade in for more at Best Buy, and then I would take that stuff I traded in at Best Buy and I would sell the credit. It was just never ending, where I would turn like $50 into like 10 new games essentially, or a new console or whatever it was. And it was just the need to feed the desire to buy new games was really what got me into it in the first place.
I think a lot of people, like, I've interviewed a bunch of people at this point, and I think a lot of people do have things like that where they have started, okay, this is something I like. I know I can get this. If I acquire more of that, then I can just flip it to get what I really want to keep, and then the rest is going up. Yeah. So I think.
But at the core, it's still just all about needing a little more money for whatever it is that you're trying to get, whether that's paying bills or buying food, or upgrade your game collection or upgrade your wig collection, whatever it is you're into. You need a way to kind of make your money grow. And, it's an interesting way to invest your money is in your own little hustle.
That's it. That's it.
But yeah, so if I find like a cheap N64 game, I'm going to hold on to that. Like I like old video game stuff. I've got this, Atari 5200 in box that I probably will never sell.
That's cool.
Even though you can make some good money for it, it's just like, it's going to be hard for me to sell that thing.
Yeah,
It's this cool old video game stuff. I'm not like, huge collection guy. I just don't have space for a giant collection of video games or anything. Like, to me, it's just cool to have it and to pull it out and bust it out and play with it a little bit, but I don't have the space like for a giant collection room or anything like that.
Right. Okay, so obviously we've enjoyed hanging out here with Dave and seeing what he's picking. I know that a lot of you guys watching this may be either guys who are picking to flip or picking to collect. Like, if you could give out some tips to these guys when they're out there picking, like some things to either look for or some things that maybe tips and tricks that you use when you're out picking that you could share with us.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I would say one of the biggest things people do struggle with, and I even struggle with it sometimes, is kind of being afraid to take a risk. I think that, when you're out there, it's almost good to screw up from time to time, because when you screw up, you learn that lesson for life, right? Like, I am never going to buy more of these box Barbies I have up on my top shelf. ever in my life. I don't think I'll ever buy one unless I can get it for a quarter, maybe 50 cents.
I got that t-shirt.
But I paid like $10 a piece on those suckers, and they're worth like $7. So, but there's no way I'm making that mistake again because I made the mistake. And the mistake cost me maybe $80. And in the future, you know, you pay for your education whether you go to school or not.
Yeah.
And I like to pay for it by screwing up and then realizing, hey, never do that again, like laser discs.
There you go. There you go. Like, I've got some of those too. When I saw the second box of laser discs, I was like, oh, I understand.
Well, I paid like $60 for the whole collection, so it's not the end of the world. But and also try to make sure what you're selling has. Well, actually, Elijah, you can speak on this. Let's bring Elijah into the video. This is Elijah, my son. Let's tell him about your knife. We're telling him mistakes that we've made.
I got this knife at a yard sale for like $5, and then we comped it for like $25 because we couldn't find it. And a couple minutes later, it just sells instantly. And then a viewer shows us that it sold for $285 by the person that bought it, and it was pretty annoying because it kind of just.
So do your research is the moral of the story.
Yeah, exactly.
It was actual Damascus steel. So look that up. And now the problem is there's a lot of repop, like copy Damascus steel on eBay for $20-25.
Right.
And so we just assumed it was a fake Damascus steel blade and listed it for $25. He was excited when it sold. Quick $20 profit.
Yeah.
He just wasn't excited when we found out from a YouTube viewer that the guy who bought it from us sold it for $285 the day after he got it. So yeah, I would say do your research. That's the tip I was trying to get to.
So the other thing, while Elijah, just hang out for a second. The other thing I would tell you guys, because I've picked with these guys today, and I can tell you there were several sales where young Elijah outpicked both of us.
That is true.
Like he actually scored some really cool stuff that I'm looking at. Like, how did I miss that? Or like. Honestly, he's a little younger than the both of us, so he gets out of the car a little bit quicker. So he's like,
he's spry.
I think he's been watching Matt. Like, you got to be the first one there. He takes that literal, so he's out there picking.
Oh, we should show him that one cool thing we found today too.
Yeah, for sure.
We found this Starbucks mug, and this Starbucks mug has sold comps for $200 to $400.
So you must have paid up for that, right?
$1/4.
That's the thing, guys. Like when you're out picking, you never know what you'll run into.
Yeah. I mean, I always pick them up because you can get like $10 to $15 for them, and people charge a quarter, 50 cents. But apparently, this North Island one is solid. It does have a chip, so that's going to cut the price down.
Yeah.
Guarantee we still get over $100 for it, maybe 200.
Yeah, that's probably like definitely as far as the quantity of turn today. That's probably one of the better ones for sure.
That's a good one.
Like when he looked it up in the car, like after we got back, and it was actually probably a couple sales later. He's like, "Let me just check that thing," and it was something that was really.
I thought it was a unique location because they sell like locational ones. You can get a Denver one, a Raleigh, North Carolina one. Probably have like a Wilmington one. So I just had never seen that one before.
Yeah. And that's something too, guys. Like once you kind of got an idea in your head where you're not having to look everything up, like you kind of sometimes, I guess you have to run on gut sometimes. Like sometimes you just got to say, man, that looks different. Like there's something different about that. So I'm going to pick it up.
Well, and we ignore our gut and we don't buy the thing that costs $3 because we're not sure on it. But guys, it costs $3. Just buy it.
Yeah.
If your gut is telling you, just buy it. And worst case, you're out $3, a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Half a cup of coffee.
I mean, like, I would guess, like, I mean, if you were to put just a random number on it, like, you think, okay, so we got the Barbie, that's a terrible buy. But then how many buys have you had? Like, if you were to look at even like a percentage, I know for me, I would say probably 10%, maybe, if not even that, probably.
Oh, bad buys?
Yeah. Like,
5-10%, Luro, laser discs, Barbie,
Yeah.
I've made all the correct mistakes.
Oh, yeah. So there's no Beanie Babies lurking? Or
Well, there is, because my daughter is collecting. So I'm like the one guy at the yard sale buying Beanie Babies. And I told him this is a perfect time to be a collector. Because now, it used to be like $8 for a Beanie Baby. Now it's $8 for a tote full of Beanie Babies. Yeah.
So, guys, if you have young kids, like that's maybe a tip for you. It's like, hey, man, get your kids into Beanie Baby because you see them everywhere. I think and the price is right.
The cool thing, like having young kids is a bit of a hack when you're picking because if you pick toys, pick stuffed animals, then no matter what, it's going to be a happy buy, because either A, you're going to sell it and make a profit, or B, your kid's going to be delayed. So
there you go.
That I definitely use that as like a scapegoat a lot. When it's like, maybe that was a mistake. Nope. Hey, Callie, do you like this? Yeah, it wasn't a mistake.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. So that's good. All right, cool. All right, so Dave, one of the things I want to talk to you about is like when you're out picking, like what are some things that kind of gets you excited? Like when you find it, it's like, wow, this is something that I really enjoy picking. Like if you could give us
pretty much any sort of media, whether it's music or DVD or even VHS, whatever it is. Like, so, I brought out some of my reels I just recently got. It's the night before Christmas reel. These sort of old, really cool sorts of items. I paid $20 for this entire box full. I actually pulled out of here this Carpenter's one and listed it. This one was for $50.
Wow.
This is one Carpenter's album, or
that's
they
crazy.
call it a tape, right? It's crazy. But it's all that sort of stuff, right? Like you see some records here. If I can get a box of records for $20, I'm buying it, even if it's not the best record. But if you look over here, I've got tons of records. These are all records, laser discs down here. These are my unlisted records. More unlisted records here. So I enjoy all that old media stuff. More laser discs. Those are my VHSs down in that thing. And then of course I've got my DVD haul over there, which DVDs are media as well.
Yeah.
I bought these for 22 or 27 cents a piece.
Oh.
And I'm selling them daily now.
There you go.
I did a spreadsheet to try to figure out my whole buy. I spent $100. Looks like the buy is going to be worth almost $5,000.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I sell this cat here. My viewers are familiar with the cat.
Cat's always for sale. Like,
if you know the name of the cat, put it in the comments below.
There you go. There you go.
That means you're a true fan.
There you go. Well, I noticed, like obviously you have these reels that are, this is kind of crazy, greatest hits. So like somebody recorded Chicago.
These are really cool because they'll record like random people on there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like this one, what was Led Zeppelin was one of these.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, but then you pulled out this, like this is something I'm kind of into as well, as vintage electronics.
Yeah.
So he pulls out like this real player. Sony's got the detachable speakers.
Yeah.
And these are things that you just don't see. Like you don't see that often. Like I know they're out here. Generally, I find like the smaller units, like the ones that,
the
you
little
have to unpack.
Ones,
But these I've never seen a Sony just like that for sure.
Yeah, this one's worth about $130.
Oh, sweet.
So I paid $10 for it.
That's awesome, man. I mean,
the cat.
that's some of the stuff. The cat's in here sending out email while we're filming. That's cool.
He's always doing something.
If you just got a message from Dave, don't even sweat it. What is he doing? Purring. It's one of those things. But so obviously this media stuff, I mean, is this things that have you set any of this up before and like try to watch it, or do you do that?
Yeah, with the records, I've got my whole record system up there, and I like to just listen to them while I'm listing and stuff.
Oh, that's sweet, man.
And I got, of course, all that at a yard sale too, $50 for the whole setup. So with the speakers.
Yeah.
Killer deal.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, and there is some stuff like, just these old bottles are really cool. Pepsi and Coke.
People stretch them out.
Blown glass. You got this. I like these little vases, these little orange ones.
Oh yeah.
If you guys didn't know, those sell for like $70 to $100. Those orange vases. Yeah. If you find them. So this is a supposedly Murano glass. It's like a $60 piece there. So some of the old glass stuff I find really fascinating as well.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Got old MJ up there at the top. Yeah.
I don't think it's worth much, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's always cool to have that stuff.
Yeah, it's a cool little vintage card.
So for me, I typically, one of the things I always like to find out. So is there things that you buy? I mean, obviously you got your studio set up, that kind of stuff that you buy, and you're like, I don't know if this is going to get sold. Like this is probably going in the collection, or this is something like I do when I want to keep something. I just price it up. Like where it's like if it sells, it ain't gonna hurt my feelings.
It's one of those things. Like if it's not worth a lot, then I might keep like a video game, something like that, or if there's something like strongly nostalgic, like if I find N64 games, I'm keeping them. That was
guys. So something that we're looking at now is we as pickers always have stuff that doesn't quite make it into the collection, doesn't quite make it into being listed at the time. We all have this, so what we want to look at now is we call it affectionately known as our death pile. Some people are more positive. They call it profit piles and like rainy day fund or whatever.
Exactly.
But I know all of us as pickers / resellers, we have this thing, the dreaded death pile. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick peek at what Dave has hidden in the death pile. So all the viewers can say, why haven't you listed that? Like, that thing's worth money. So Dave, what do we got?
Well, let's start over here, actually, because this is one part of my death pile. Like I said, all these records at the bottom shelf are not listed.
Ah, gotcha.
And all these hats are not listed. And which this just kills Eric, the OBXPicker, because he's a hat guy. And I've got all this money that I just sitting here.
I've got a sad amount in my death pile as well. But...
and then everything else is basically over here. These two shelves here are all unlisted inventory. Basically everything on these two shelves.
From top to bottom.
From top to bottom, completely unlisted. Will one day maybe be listed.
So, like, I know for myself, when I start going back through this death pile, sometimes I get the why did I buy this? Sometimes I get that why haven't I listed this moment? Like, where have you ever, like, what's something you could think of that you pulled out and you're like, man, why haven't I listed this big one?
How about these blow molds?
Oh, yeah.
$150 blow molds. Haven't even considered listing them. This little radio is worth $45, a Sirius radio.
Oh, yeah.
You know, these Senseis sell for $25 a piece, and I actually had them in my photo booth for a TikTok, and I didn't list them. I just put them back and didn't list them. You know, Coleman Lantern from 1984. All this stuff is money. Like, it's crazy. I mean, golf clubs, I won't even talk about it. I buy them, and then I never, ever list them. Like, I'll just hold on to the golf clubs forever. I should sell them to Eric while he's here. These fake Yeezys, they could be real Yeezys. I don't know. I've never checked. So I don't know. If they are real, they're like $300, and I'm just ignoring them for the last 2 months.
Yeah, there you go. That's the stuff. I mean, and we all have it. All right, guys. So it's been great hanging out today with Dave, and we spent the day picking. Like, he's got shorter since last segment. we spent the day out picking, and then I've come back and talked to him about what he's picking. So, Dave, if you could leave something with the viewers, like what would be helpful 10 or encouragement, whatever.
I think that, I mean, I don't know. Put me on the spot. Now I'm so short, I just can't even think straight.
Yeah.
It's a terrible camera angle. I'm really tall, guys. I promise.
We'll give it for the
yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's how I shoot my videos. I think probably the best thing you could do would be to subscribe to NC Picker and, you know, just get all your tips from over there. Yeah. But no, seriously, I think it's really important to have a strong why. Why are you doing this? Why are you buying this stuff? Because if you're just buying it because you like buying and you don't have a good why as to something that's going to motivate you to actually list it and ship it and sell it and take photographs of it, then you're going to end up being a hoarder with a bunch of stuff that you end up throwing in a dumpster one day. Right. So if you want to get into this, make sure you have good enough motivation and desire to actually sell the stuff so that you can make some money in this either side hustle or full-time job that is reselling.
That's it.
Yeah.
Guys, we appreciate you watching Whatcha Pickin. As always, wishing you good flips and great picks out there. You can come back and watch the rest of this series that we've been doing. I think we're on like interview number 8, so we've already stacked up quite a few guys. And as always, check NC Picker's link down below. You can subscribe to him there, or you can find him just by searching his name on YouTube. But thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a good one. Good luck out there.